gotta think they're making racist just because I'm human, they don't want my help. It seems it doesn't really matter if your superpowers fire to the melt.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Now Comics. Right now, I'm Lou Gonzalez. Joining me is John Scott.
I like Fancy Robot Craig better. Fuck the other Craig.
Leonardo. All of the adjectives that Connor gives him. Saverio. Is that how you say this?
Gorlami.
Gorlami.
Gorlami. I feel like that's racist because, you know, I'm Mexican and he's making fun of my Mexican name. I feel like that's racist.
Oh.
I'm going to try and figure out a way to cancel him. Don't worry. I'm working on it.
Okay. We're going to...
Your whole mission is just effectively cancel Movie Dumpster. Got it.
That should be our title of our episode, Cancel Connor McGraw. And joining us later, he's going to jump in at some point. He's watching wrestling. He's watching the Royal Rumble. John Seiler will pop in.
It's still real to him.
Yeah. So we'll start a couple of news things. And then I'll talk about my movie-going experience during the week. And then we'll talk about what we're reading. And I think if we have time, we'll also talk about... I think we've all seen Wonder Woman at this point.
Yeah.
Did I finish that movie?
Well, it's off of HBO Max now, Leo, so...
You'll be...
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah, it was only for like a month.
Yeah.
Well, from what I heard, I didn't miss much.
No, we'll get into it later because I definitely want to hear Siler's stuff on it. But tying in, so we have an official release date with a $150 million 4-hour Snyder cut.
March 18th. Let's go.
You'll need to take off the day from work to be able to finish it.
Listen, I was literally just doing the math in my head. I'm like, all right, so March, I think I tweeted about this too. I was like, March is ending. WandaVision's gonna like have its finale. Mass Effect has its remaster coming out. Snyder Cut.
Shit. Sorry, you just reminded me of that. I'm like, I forgot. That's the next game I have to buy.
Snyder Cuts the 18th. Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to start the literal next day on the 19th, and then Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh my god, that I'm hyped. And like all of the stuff, because we could also talk about like that trailer. All right, let's talk about that. We'll jump to the other like Warner Brothers stuff. So Snyder Cut coming out. That Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. Holy shit, am I hyped for that?
I literally just finished watching all like the MonsterVerse movies this week.
I have to watch Skull Island, but I might do that like
Skull
right before.
Island's fucking great.
You don't have to. Oh,
Yes,
wow. Okay, I'll shut up then. I'll shut up.
I'm sorry. Are you not a Skull Island Skull Island fan there, Leo?
Dude, I fucking fell asleep and I was like, what is happening? What is...
That is very funny. You want to know the only movie?
John Goodman is only here just to live long enough to say 2 lines of explanation and then just die. That's it. That's all he does.
The only movie I've ever fallen asleep to in the theater was Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Well, I mean, it's 3 hours, so I mean, I love the movie, but I get it.
Like, I think I had come off of a plane. Like, we flew from like Puerto Rico, like a bunch of my friends, like right after high school. Like, we graduated. That was our graduation trip. And we came in and we're like, all right, King Kong. And it was like an hour and 28. I'm like, I don't know. I think you like just started seeing Kong and I was like nodding off.
The jet lag hit you.
The jet lag, and it was like, we're an hour and 20 and we're just seeing Kong.
But
and he's like dicking around.
Kong Skull Island gives me the same feeling I get when I watch The Rocketeer. It's so much goddamn fun for me.
Okay, that's like if it's anywhere near that, like I'm not expecting like amazing.
Wait, Kong Skull Island?
Yeah.
Kong Skull Island gives you that. Wow. All right.
Yeah. Like The Mask of Zorro and Rocketeer gives me that same feeling when I watch it. I enjoy it.
Wow. Mask of Zorro. You're comparing Mask of Zorro to Kong Skull Island.
All right, listen. I'm just telling you that the movies I watch, those are the feelings I get.
I mean, I feel like I'm being a dick. I don't know. I was really hyped for it, and then I went in. Me and my brother.
I remember the first time I didn't like it. Like I remember first time I watched it, I hated it, and then I watched it again because I picked it up on Black Friday for like I don't know $5. So I was just like, all right, yeah, I'll give this another shot. And I'm like, wait, I really like this movie because I just want to see Kong beat the shit out of a bunch of monsters, and I got that.
Hey, remember that one character who we just kept like alluding to, like, is he alive? Is he alive the whole time? And like we are. Well, actually, I don't want to spoil it. Like,
no, that part hurt me. That part got a bad death. But like,
it's like, here's some blood, but we don't know if he's alive or not. And then at the end of the movie, I'm like, no, he's.
But yeah, Kong Skull Island for me personally gives me like I put it in the same vein of movies that like give me that like rollicking kind of adventure feel, like Rocketeer or The Mummy, the 99 Mummy, or like Mask of Zorro or stuff like that, where it's just like this really good, fun action adventure movie.
but there's no adventure.
I mean, you're trying to escape off an island. That's kind of an adventure.
Like,
If
the
it's
best part of the movie was the beginning. Sorry, was the beginning where there's the two World War II people, and it's like, oh man, this is actually pretty cool. And then it's like, oh, we're gonna skip all of that potential, character progression of them trying to survive on this island, separated from the rest of humanity, and we're just gonna flash forward 40 years. And it's like,
Yeah, but
oh,
then it gave us John C. Riley, who's arguably the best part of the entire movie.
that's not a hard bar to. I mean, yeah, because the movie sucks. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna wholeheartedly disagree with you, Leo.
I'm going in harder than I normally would just because you don't like it. Just because you do like it. Like I said,
I know
I
I
watched
know
it
what
and
you're
I was
doing.
like,
I know what
I
you're
was
doing.
like, well, I mean,
Hmm.
I'll probably watch it again, everything again, in lieu of the.
Yeah, and then, but yeah, going back to that trailer, the moment when like Godzilla comes onto the ship, and then Kong's got his fist going back, and then just punches him right in the face with a right hook. Was it right?
That's just good fun.
I was just like, all right, I'm gonna have a good time with this. I just want Godzilla and Kong to beat the shit out of each other, and that looks like what I'm gonna get.
Well,
I mean,
plus
sure.
there's like, if you go back to the toys that were teased like a long time ago, there are
And-
some other possibilities of things showing up. In the
Well,
movie.
there's was one in the trailer that if you pause and you look, it's there.
Oh, really?
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like a
The
frame of a frame in my
It's
opinion.
it's
But I
like
was like,
frame
that's
by
pretty cool.
frame, and it's like a blink and you miss it. But there's something in the opening of the trailer where you're just like, okay.
I have a feeling they're gonna reveal it in the next trailer, like whatever
I
next
really
promotion
hope
they
they
put out.
don't.
I hope they
I feel like
don't.
they are. I feel like they are. They're gonna be like, hey,
I
look,
would
it's
be
this.
so
Reveal it.
mad. In fact, I want this to be the only trailer because I feel like this is enough to get people hyped. And judging from like all the reactions I'm seeing online, I think this is enough.
I showed my younger
Okay.
sister yesterday, and she's not like that. Like she enjoys watching superhero movies, but she's not very much into that. And I showed her the trailer yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, you have the other movies, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Oh, cool. Well, let me borrow them so I can watch them because this is cool." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." Like, yeah, people seem to enjoy, big
Well,
fighting
like,
monsters fighting.
Yeah, it's like the easiest like cut down the middle. Like you just want to watch like a giant monster fight another giant monster. Like
Exactly. And it's like I feel like with the world as it is now, I feel like people just need like a little bit of like I just want to escape for a little bit from the rest of the world. Was this a monster fighting another monster? Sure, I'm down.
it's weird
I'm
because I
kind of
feel like
hoping that. No, go
the
ahead.
younger guys, like you guys, didn't really get a good Godzilla like until nowish, like where it like was part of the
No.
culture, like
No,
culture.
God, I had chicken legs himself.
Yeah, but like even like the Japanese stuff like was crossover like in the 80s and the 90s, like in the 70s and 80s and 90s, like it crossed over. Like I think it was also like a video store thing, like they were like always around, and then once video stores went away, it would like you actually had to go out and seek Godzilla, like he just wasn't around.
I remember when Godzilla 2000 came out, and I remember looking
I
at
saw
it,
it in
and
the theater.
I remember
Yes.
thinking, like, sitting there thinking, like, they made a sequel to the American movie because I didn't realize that, like,
Oh, that one, yeah.
Godzilla was from Japan at first. So that's why I didn't get it until
Oh, yeah.
I was like a little older.
I remember again, like I watched a bunch of movies in Spanish, like on Spanish channel, just because they would dub anything they could get their hands on, and so I remember seeing a bunch of like Godzilla movies. Like I guess the ones I remember the most are like Tokyo SOS and versus Mecha Godzilla and like Final Wars.
Final
Like those are the
Wars
ones
is
I remember
still
the most, and like those are like the more 2000s one, and those have like a little more action. Like I've gone back and tried to watch some of the older ones, and they're a little plodding and slow, which I get, but
Well, and
like I
that's
can
what
watch
that
those.
first new one was going for. Like was trying to do some of that stuff.
yeah.
So,
The first new one I remember it was going for I think what the old one was supposed to feel like, mixed with like a Spielberg kind of sense. But then I feel like they changed course immediately with Kong and the Godzilla sequel, and they were like, let's just have monsters beat the shit out of each other.
I
Yep.
enjoyed the second one, but I mean,
I like the second one a lot.
I have turned around considerably on the second one.
I
Oh, you
really
didn't
watched
like
it
the
in
second
my
one
phone.
at first?
At first, and then I watched it again a couple days ago, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back in time and punch 2019 me in the face.
Oh yeah, because I like the second one because like I think what the humans are doing makes so much sense, and they do such
Does
a
it?
good job like world building in that movie.
Do they?
Also, the humans are all interesting, unlike the first Godzilla movie where we followed human lamppost Aaron Taylor Johnson. I did not like him in that.
Quicksilver,
Yeah,
one of them.
one of them.
I guess the other they kind of go together, but So Audible announced that they're doing Acts 2 and 3 of the Sandman audiobook, which I have the first one. Again, it's another thing I need to listen to.
I actually listened to that when it first came out because I'd never read the Sandman. Like I've been meaning to. It's always on that list of like all the old greats that all the old people talk about.
Mhm.
So when it finally came out, I had an Audible credit, and I was like, let me listen to it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like the first half, and it's not that I didn't enjoy this whatever came after, but I guess I found out that it becomes more of like a bit of like an anthology kind of, where just like kind of like random
It
adventures here
also
and there.
gets like, especially reading the comic book, like it gets like real weird at a point. Like it's definitely like Neil Gaiman like did all the drugs and like wrote this thing, and like he gets like into this weird, because the first one, it's Preludes and Nocturne, Dollhouse, which I think is the one most people know, and then I don't remember if I know Dream Country.
Because I mean, to me, like the last, not that everything else is bad, but like when Sandman, no, what's his name?
Morpheus.
Morpheus. When he's getting all of his gear back and like going around and like bumping
Yes.
into other DC characters, that's really cool to me. I was like, damn, this is really cool. And once he gets everything and he's trying to repair his
Kingdom.
like that's pretty good. But then like, I guess again, it could be just where it cut off, like where it just kind of is like, here's a story here and there's a story there and there's this and that, and I was like,
No,
get back
that's
to
very
this.
much what the book is too. But like, yeah, because it's the ones I remember, like that story, because that involves him going to hell, right?
Yeah, like again, like I enjoyed that a lot when he's doing
Yeah,
like
and that's like the
story.
one of the best stories. And then
I haven't finished it yet. I've only got to the Constantine story.
Oh, okay.
okay, I don't remember that. And then the Dollhouse is the one that involves the Corinthian, I believe.
Yeah, again, also I was like, oh man, like is this Corinthian?
That's the one where it's like
these
it's
people?
the what do you call it? Where they have the convention, right?
Yeah, the serial killer
Yeah,
like
okay.
that.
Those are the two most famous stories, like that first one and then that one. I honestly don't remember Dream Country at all. And then the second act will involve Season of the Mist, Distant Mirrors, A Game of You, and Convergence. And the third one will be Brief Lives and World's End. And I don't remember. I definitely have never gotten through all of Sandman because it gets like real weird.
I've never read it. I'm on the same boat as Leo. I've also never read it. It's one of those ones where it's like everyone's told me, "Oh, you need to read it. You need to read it." It's one of like the most classic ones.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. So the Dream Country, which is the third one of part one, is just like an anthology. There's like a bunch of mini stories.
Yeah, I have the thing on book on CD, so because I got it for Christmas, and I'm listening to it in my car rides whenever I do go out for car rides, because pandemic. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I love the cast. The cast it's kind of amazing that they managed to get that cast together.
Yes and no. Like other Neil Gaiman stuff, like I have one on my phone. It has absolutely crazy cast.
Is the Norse mythology? I know you mentioned Norse mythology.
No, he reads that one. No, I have like Neverwhere.
Okay.
By him. Stop playing. It's Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look up. It's what's his name? Who's Professor X, the young one.
James
McAvoy?
McAvoy.
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm looking at this cast right now. Holy shit. Christopher
It's the
Lee,
dude who
Benedict Cumberbatch, Anthony
Yeah,
Head.
dude who
Good
plays
lord.
Martian Manhunter on Supergirl.
Oh, David Harewood. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Bernard
Christopher
Cribbin.
Lee. I'm trying to think. And she's from Game of Thrones.
Natalie Dormer.
Yes, Natalie Dormer.
Oh, they also have got Wilfred from Doctor Who in here. Oh, that's cool. He was
still alive?
Yeah, he's still kicking. He's 92.
Oh, that's good because like I remember like when I was catching up on Doctor Who, I was like, damn, I don't want to look up if this guy's still alive or not.
Yeah, I was looking. No, he's 92. He's still going. Good for him.
Yeah, man. I mean, in the next 8 years, hopefully we don't necessarily hear anything, but like, yeah, I mean, I won't. Again, cool, good life. Good to
I
see that
mean,
he's possibly
yeah.
still getting work.
Oh, good for him. I didn't realize he was still working. I'm happy about that because
Yeah.
he deserves it. He was also a great companion kind of to the 10th Doctor.
I mean, again, like I would always watch clips of Doctor Who and be like, I don't understand what's so emotional about this, and then
I've seen I think
I
4
watched it.
episodes of Doctor Who.
And then I watched it and I was like, damn, this sucks. Why am I?
Yeah.
What are these salty discharges?
Yeah, 10th Doctor will do that to you.
And then the other Sandman thing is we got casting for the Netflix show,
So yeah,
which
we've
is
got
real interesting. I have all the names too. Because the main guy is the only one I really, after looking at, like, I don't know really anything.
I don't know anything other than Cain, Abel, and Lucien. The others I know. And Dream.
Oh, character-wise, yeah. But I mean, like, the actors.
No, I meant the actors.
Yeah, well, Lucifer is Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I'm really
such a-
hyped for that.
I'm so happy.
It makes
I
sense.
cannot
'cause
wait
it's
for
like,
I can't wait for my tall devil lady to punish me when I go to hell.
well, it's going to be like, oh, because what's her name? Well, it didn't play Lucifer, but played Gabriel in the Constantine movie we watched. And I feel like
Another
it
tall
makes,
queen.
yes, kind of going for like the same, like in the comics, like Lucifer is very, depending on who's drawing him, like very fluid of what he appears.
Leo, have you been playing the Resident Evil 8 demo a lot recently? Is that why you're going on about?
No, I actually haven't at all.
Kidding.
No, but I mean,
I can't. Who is playing? So usually it's Lucian, but they change it to. It's probably still going to be Lucian, but it's spelled different.
Lucien. I think they made a female for the show.
Yeah, it's whatever character. Like it's a good character, but it doesn't need to be anything. Is Vivian Achimapong? I'm brutalizing that.
The only big thing she's done is The Witches that came out last year, which I heard was not good.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that
don't
came out,
know any of this stuff that she's been in besides that, but she's probably like a big BBC person, and that's why we don't know. And then
that's ignorant Americans.
Boyd Holbrook is playing the Corinthian.
That's cool. What's his
Good for
name? Ahmed Best played him in the audible, and I fucking enjoy it. I mean, yeah.
Oh, what? Ahmed Best? Wait, Ahmed Best? Really?
No, not Ahmed Best. Fucking my bad. Riz Ahmed. Shit.
Oh,
Riz Ahmed. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, good for Ahmed Best getting work.
Very different people.
He should. Yeah, he should get it work. You know.
But yeah, Holbrook is from Logan, Predator, the new Predator, right? What is it called?
Yeah.
The Predator.
The Predator. The
lamest
Shane
Predator?
Black one.
Yeah, I feel like he's
one?
bigger known for like Logan and Narcos, like the first 2 seasons of Narcos.
Oh, he is.
He's the white guy in Narcos. But that's interesting.
He's also in We Can Be Heroes.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
he is in that.
I still get to one.
Which the Corinthian is like the player you want to play, or the character you want to play in that, because he's just like chewing all, like literally, and like pun intended, chewing the scenery.
Oh,
Also, I heard We Can Be Heroes is really good, so I do want to watch it at some point.
Okay,
Well, I'm waiting for us to do, the thing,
Charles Dance as Roderick Burgess, and that would be Tywin Lannister,
Yeah, and
and one like bad guy in everything British.
Roderick Burgess,
And-
I remember explicitly from the Audible one, because that was a story of when a Sandman was captured and he lost
Yeah,
his helmet.
he's
and
the
everything.
rich douche that captures him.
All right. There we go.
And then these characters I know, I don't necessarily I recognize the one actor playing Abel, but I don't recognize the one playing Cain. So Sanjeev Bakshar is playing Cain, and Ashim Chaudhry is playing Abel.
They're
And I also-
Middle Eastern, right? Ish looking. I mean, I don't want to get that wrong.
I think they're either Middle Eastern or they are Indian or Pakistani. I can look them up. Let's see. Ashim Chaudhry is from, because he's not listed in the show's IMDb yet. He did a Black Mirror episode. He's in Wonder Woman 84. Where do I know him from?
So also Neil Gaiman has confirmed Constantine is going to be in the show, but I don't think Matt Ryan's playing him, and they are not connecting Sandman to the Lucifer show.
Yeah, which I think that's why like it can't be Matt Ryan, because he's now connected to the Lucifer show.
Yeah. Matt Ryan is?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, that's right.
And I think that has like 2 more seasons they're doing. Because they
Yeah,
didn't
you
get
want to
to.
watch that show?
I love that show.
Lucifer's a good show.
Lucifer is a really good show. And the
My
last
girlfriend
season,
got me into it.
the last season is one of the shows that got like screwed up because of COVID.
Well, I think they only did the first half of
Yeah, they only were able to film the first half, and then he got trapped here because they film in LA, and he got trapped here.
Yeah, so the
other guy I don't recognize. I guess he's another BBC guy. He was in Yesterday, Absolutely Anything.
Yesterday was fine. It's
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks like a movie.
Wait, really quickly going back to the Audible. What do you mean by 2 more seasons? Like,
They're going to do 2
like
more,
this?
like how they did there's a second Wolverine and they did Marvels. Like it's like they're going to do 2 more like the second Wolverine. So like there's the first Wolverine season and then they did a second one.
Right, but the Wolverine had episodes, right?
yeah. So does
Yes.
this one.
Well, I mean, we've only got 1 episode so far.
Oh wait, I see what you mean. No, so it's like how Wolverine, the first batch of episodes was like a season, and then they did the second season.
Yeah.
Same deal.
Okay, so when are we gonna get episode 2 for season 1, or is each Audible book 1 season?
Each Audible book I think is 1 season. So what we got, because I think there was like 20 episodes in the Sandman Audible stuff.
Was it episodes or chapters? I guess the chapters are episodes.
Chapters would be episodes, yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
So same deal. There's more coming, is what we're saying.
Cool. I mean, I enjoyed it, so I'm not. Oh crap.
No, I also enjoyed it, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm looking here because there's already a second Sandman Audible thing. So I don't know if they like broke it up.
They might have just broken it up. Yeah, in 2020, a full cast audio drama comprising of the first 3 multi-part audio drama.
Yeah, cast for the Audible was Riz Ahmed as the Corinthian, Kat Dennings as Death, Taron Egerton as John Constantine.
What a good
Damon
casting,
as
by the way.
narrator.
So is
Yeah.
Michael Sheen as Lucifer.
McAvoy as Morpheus. Yeah, again, I was like, damn. Andy Serkis is really good at it too.
Oh, I haven't gotten to his part yet.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah, they pulled out one of the they pulled out one of the mini episodes, like one of the mini stories from the third part of the first one, and separated it.
Oh, okay.
So like the whole first one is 11 hours almost. But if you just want to listen to the one, Calliope is 41 minutes.
Okay, so this.
okay.
Oh, you know why it's in here separately? It's in Spanish.
Ah,
So I guess they're going through and recording it in Spanish.
That's cool. I'll probably, if I ever listen to it again, I'll probably do that.
That'd be interesting to hear a whole other cast do it, like the same thing.
I mean, I do that sometimes when I watch movies. Like I'll like want to watch something else. I'll like put on the Spanish just to like, because I feel like I don't speak Spanish enough anymore since I don't live with my.
Yeah, I don't
like,
speak
my family as much.
any. So, but what's weird is my wife has been during COVID getting into watching Spanish TV on Netflix because it's like really big on Netflix. Like they're not telenovelas, but they're like a step above that. I don't know what you would call them.
I think they are telenovelas, but they're just take out like the really good chunks and they've been putting them.
No, but
on
they're
Netflix.
like a lot of them are like expensive period pieces.
I mean, I've been there.
It's like
I don't
Spain's
watch
version
novelas,
of like BBC shows.
Oh, that's Spain then. Never mind. I thought you were mixed up.
Yeah, I can't like. There's been like a couple. I watched like one with her that was like current day. That was about like a tequila company that was interesting, like Monarca, and it's like mostly in Spanish. But yeah, like I don't know. She really likes them, and then like I'm like, oh, she's like, yeah. If you watch a lot of that stuff, you end up picking stuff up. I'm like, yeah, that's how people learn English in like a lot of the world.
True. That's, I don't know. You know.
Mm-hmm. But
And also, I'd argue again, like that's how I helped learn Spanish is because like when I moved in with my parents, they had like all their channels synced to like Spanish, and I was like, can I watch Disney Channel? And like cool, but then the cartoons would be in Spanish, and I'd be like, I don't understand any of this. But then like a few years later, I'm like, well, I guess I understand everything now.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Like I don't remember if there's any big other like news stuff that got dropped, right?
not that I can recall. I'm looking right now. I know that Future State's going on right now.
Yeah, I have not read any of it yet.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna check. Don't mind me. Everyone keep talking.
I will say without any spoilers, WandaVision has been awesome. I know a lot of people are bitching about the first 2 episodes.
That's so weird. Like again, like that's not the reason that I'm not watching it. I'm just like, I don't know.
waiting.
I'm not right now. I'm just like I'm waiting. I'm a little impatient, so I'm just like, oh.
And then they got everything they were bitching about in the 3rd episode. Or no, I guess it'd be the 4th, right? Because the first 2 dropped at the same time.
Yeah, from what I've
Yeah, so it'd be the
Yeah.
4th
also,
episode.
I've been kind of slightly spoiling myself. Like when I hear people talk about it, so I'm just like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh, we could talk about the X-Men vote thing.
The what?
I was gonna say that's a big one. The whole X-Men.
So yeah, Marvel is doing a vote to see who will be. It's hashtag X-Men vote. And basically, they have a list of, I think it's like 9 characters. I'm going to see if there's an actual site so I can read all the characters. And it's basically who is going to be the next person on the team. Or I think even the leader of the team.
Like guys on the main roster?
Yeah, oh no, okay. The new team will be led by Cyclops and Jean Grey, and they're putting together a new X-Men team. And they are putting it up for vote. So the people who are the characters who are up for vote are Hisako Ichiki, who is Armor, who's got like a psionic exoskeleton armor that she puts on.
She's on my vote.
OG X-Men Banshee, Sean Cassidy, whose daughter is actually like in a pretty big story in X Factor right now.
When original X-Men needs to get voted on if he can be back on the team, you don't get my
well,
vote.
he's not in a. He's from the second team.
Well, he's
the Giants.
an X-Men who already has been alive for like the past 30, 40 years.
Yeah, most of them are new mutants because Armor is a newer New Mutant. Boom Boom is
Armor was introduced in Whedon's run, right?
Yeah, and Boom Boom is the third one. Tabitha Smith, I think she was a X Factor character, like original X Factor, who can throw a little time bomb. She's hilarious. Cannonball, original New Mutants character that we talked about. Forge, X-Men character. Marrow, who's pretty fucking awesome. Who's I don't even know. She can like grow her bones. Like it's an interesting power. It's very interesting.
Oh, didn't they make like the male version of her on the X-Men Evolution show?
Sort of. He's kind of like that. He's similar, like because he can throw like spikes out his back. She literally can grow like extensions, like actual bones, and like make them armor on her body.
That happens to him later.
He's kind of a version of her. It's similar.
Well, I said he's like the male-ish version.
Yeah,
I get him.
Yeah, Polaris, who's also currently on X Factor, who's Lorna Dane, who's Magneto's daughter with green hair, because that's a thing. Strong Guy, Guido Carcella, who was an OG X Factor guy, who's like absorbs kinetic energy and then like can shoot it out, like and use it, but if he doesn't use it, it makes his body all wonky. Another new mutant, which is Sunspot, Robert DaCosta. And then the last one is one I don't really remember reading anywhere, which is Tempo, because she was part of the Mutant Liberation Front and the Acolytes. And she can make like a time portal around herself, kind of. So she can like control time within like her specific like bubble. So you can go onto their site and you could vote for the one. I'm pretty sure I voted.
Winning?
No, I don't think so. Let me see. I'll try to vote. It gives you stats on everybody, which is interesting.
So who's winning? Or who's last?
Well, I mean, it gives you like power stats.
Oh, okay. I think I meant like this.
Let me see. I'm going to vote. That's all it says. I voted in the X-Men election.
Boo.
Oh, Tempo's newer costume looks kind of like oh my god, what character is this from DC? Aztec.
That guy never came back right after they killed him?
It was a woman for a while.
Oh, right. I remember
that. Which I don't even remember what Aztec's powers are. That's like kind of godlike.
I think
isn't it like sun energy or something?
That and like basic flight and strength from like the helmet that he had, if I'm remembering correctly. Not that I'm a big Aztec stan, but he's kind of like the one Mexican. So I was like,
was he a Morrison creation?
I think so.
Aztec is wild looking. Like he's interesting. So
John Scott.
He has blades that he has in his arms. He can shoot plasma beams like Iron Man. He's steel net, mini rockets. It's kind of like
so is it more like a suit of armor?
Yeah, I think it's like shitty Blue Beetle.
Huh.
Mierdita Blue Beetle.
I think I've only read one story with Aztec. But he did show up in the DCEU.
He's the champion of the Aztec Guard, Quetzalcoatl.
Gymnastics, hand-to-hand combat, tactical analysis. Quetzalcoatl battle suit and helmet. It's a masterpiece of occult engineering. He has collective energy, memories, energy projection, energy resistance, vision, flight, interstellar travel, invisibility, superhuman speed, and superhuman strength.
Oh, he's in an episode of Justice League Unlimited in like a non-speaking role.
Yeah, he's in one of the backgrounds where they show like all the characters.
Cool.
Cool beans.
I guess while we're waiting for John Seller, I'll talk about. So we watched Days of Future Past like a week ago, right?
Remember, guys, according to Lou Gonzalez, the only way the future can be saved is if Storm pegs Wolverine.
Gonna say that because so the big thing I learned is every X-Men movie after the original trilogy ignores the ending of the previous film.
Basically.
Because like X-Men Apocalypse just like flat out ignores that a lot of the like, because if you take those 4 movies, the newer set, how do you get to the end of Days of Future Past after any of the other 2? Even Days of Future Past, after Apocalypse and then after Dark Phoenix, how do you get to that world? Makes no fucking sense. Plus, Jean's alive in that world. Like, adult Jean, who I guess, that's one of the goofy things when they did that, like, recast, that they grow up into, like, the adult people grow up into other adults.
Can we talk about how in the span of, like, a 30-year decade span, like 60s to 90s, Jennifer Lawrence, Michael Fassbender, and James McAvoy all
Jennifer
look
Lawrence
the
can
same.
change her shape, so I kind of forgive that. But like Fassbender, he definitely is aged. When you see the last one, they're definitely like, they were not using any makeup on you, because he looks like he's in his 40s. Like he looks like he's in his hard 40s.
Oh, okay, I was just making a joke. The fact that they all look the same to me.
No,
like,
the thing is, like McAvoy barely looks older. Like barely. I guess the bald head is like him looking older. Like I don't know. Which Apocalypse? I'll say this: fuck Apocalypse for being 2.5 hours. That movie's pretty boring.
But Lou, according to Jean Grey, the third movie is always not as good as the others.
Oh my god, that line was so lame.
Oh my god. I guess like to like after seeing all those movies, like I will never understand like why they didn't just make the first movie with that original team. I think a lot of the problems in all of the movies with like the relationships are because they don't have the right teams together.
Well, I think also if they remade that first movie, I'm pretty sure like Wolverine, like old Hugh Jackman with that cast would have been like just weird.
Oh, the
if they remade that first movie, like you said, yeah.
Well, like he wouldn't be part of it. He's not an original X-Men.
That's
like,
fair.
Like if they did the original team, where if it was Angel, which who has gotten more short shifted in these movies as an original X-Men than Angel?
What was it? Who played him in X3?
Iceman has. Iceman's in what, 4 movies for like, and he's mostly in 2, and he barely does anything in it.
Yeah, he comes out to his parents,
yes.
And then that ends horribly.
Yeah, it's like 2 of the original X-Men are barely used.
So I would argue like a homophobe in that movie because he's like, oh, he came out, so I'm the police.
Oh, John Siler's here. So, Siler, we are talking about my viewing experience over the past week of the other 2 X-Men movies. So I was kind of saying, like, I don't understand why in First Class they didn't go with the original team. And then I said, it's insane that 2 of the original X-Men got so short-shafted in, 7 movies in Iceman and Angel. Iceman's mostly in 2 and then never does really anything again. And he's an original member, and Angel basically is nothing.
I would argue that Iceman does stuff in X-Men 3.
At the very end, where he just turns all ice, and then
he's better in Days of Future Past.
Well, also Angel kind of sucks. So like,
well, yeah, Angel's like not a great character.
But Archangel's so iconic.
Oh, that's right. Ben Foster played him in
in X3.
X3. Oh God, he's a good actor.
But like, Angel is like easily the least important character of the original X-Men lineup.
He's not important until he becomes Archangel.
Exactly.
His importance is being the guy. His importance is he funds a lot of the stuff, and then
right.
But that's not until he doesn't really serve a purpose until like the Mutant Massacre happens.
Yeah, the Fall of the Mutants.
He's Batman if Bruce Wayne didn't wasn't went and became Batman. He just had the money to fund Justice League.
Well, that's where if I was going to plan out like this a reboot, like I would start with a movie of like Giant Size X-Men #1. Like, have the movie open up. I would actually do one. Why can they not just do Cyclops' origin story correctly? Like, I don't understand, like, why Havoc was older. Like, I don't understand any of
Okay,
that.
hold on. To also go back on Alex Summers for a second. He got
Oh, he gets jobbed out so hard.
the shit end of the stick in X-Men Apocalypse. Like that.
Well,
pissed me off.
he's in that one half a scene in Days of Future Past, and then comes back to be a chauffeur for Xavier, and then gets fucking annihilated.
Yeah.
Again, another death that doesn't make sense. The guy who can cause like explosions and that kind of thing dies in an explosion.
Lou, I also want to know, what is your thoughts on Apocalypse's take on or Apocalypse's new Quicksilver scene?
Oh, it's like they learned all the wrong lessons. It's stupid. Like, it's bad.
I remember when the trailer was coming out for Apocalypse, and like it was pretty serious, and Aaron Apocalypse coming back and like saying how he's gonna destroy the world and whatever. They kept showing clips of like Quicksilver scene, and he always looked distressed, and like you can see like the house is blowing up. And I was like, oh, cool, they're gonna make Quicksilver grow up, as in like he can't always take his super speed for granted. Like people are going to get hurt, and he's gonna be like, damn, I need to take things seriously. And then I watched the movie, and it's just a joke, and I was like, oh, never mind then.
Yeah, I don't.
Wait, are you talking about Days of Future Past?
No, in Apocalypse, because like again, the Days of Future Past scene was cool because it was the first time it happened.
But like, why?
And then they
Like,
just
why would he like I guess like deal with him being fast and have it deal with like things before? Like, I guess
well,
I just don't.
I thought again, it's like he's a goofy character, and like they kept kind of like saying, like, oh, you need to like not be so like goofy, and like, and I think maybe it was in the interviews where they were like, oh yeah, this is a more serious movie. These characters need to grow up and they need to take responsibility, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, again, maybe I started putting it in my head, but I was like, oh, maybe Quicksilver, he's gonna be. They were putting him front and center as like being a bigger character. I was like, oh, maybe he'll like grow up a little, kind of, or something. He'll
Well,
get a
I
little
mean,
growth.
like in his part in Apocalypse is basically the same part in Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's
And-
just worse.
Yeah,
Right.
it's worse because it's like, well, okay, so like because like in Days of Future Past, you're meeting him for the first time. You get like the whatever effect of his powers for the first time, and you get like the funny like movie effect for it, and it's like, oh, like this is fun. And then Apocalypse is like, what if we did that same thing and did it the exact same and not change anything about it?
Oh, and
It's
then
like-
what if in the third movie we do that scene the exact same way, the exact same thing again?
But like
But
cut
he
it short.
missed somebody.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, wait, so like instead of like developing Quicksilver, you just want to do the same joke again?
Well, we can't talk about character development. They don't develop anybody at all. Like, Apocalypse has no development. I think he's like one of the biggest X-Men villains of all time.
He's the Thanos of the X-Men, like when
Which is like,
kinda-
it's
I mean,
funny
it's-
how like they
it's
were.
Okay, so isn't it fucking funny that someone like Storm who survives like that, like whatever, and like afterwards, like after Apocalypse is finished, was like, hey, can I join the X-Men? I'm like, bro, you were a part of like an initiative that killed millions of people. Like, how are you able to like think that you could join the X-Men
Oh,
at this point?
this is the world where Magneto tried to kill like the president and all of Congress, and everyone was like, "Oh, the world, it's okay." He decided to just leave. Like, this
And
is
they're
that
like-
same world. So
They're like Mystique, bad, Magneto.
no, then they go, "Oh wait, Mystique stopped him. Now Mystique hero of world." Like, it's just like I just don't get. It's not like it's just like, and I will say like Dark Phoenix, I think is my favorite of those four. I think it's still long, and there's a lot I don't like, but I think it has the reason I like it the most is because we at least get character development through the two movies.
Which one?
Dark Phoenix, and it's
Yeah.
still the most like blah. Like,
I'm looking at the lines in that movie, and there's the whole exchange between Xavier and Magneto, where Xavier's like, "Hello, old friend," and Eric's like, "Save that shit. I don't care, and you're always sorry." And there's always a speech, but no one cares anymore.
See, but that's like where like that's the stuff I actually liked in it because like the Xavier,
I love that
Yeah.
stuff.
the Xavier in Dark Phoenix is like the Xavier that I read in the comics for the most part, where he's just this smug like asshole who's like thinks that he's doing right, and I'm like, oh yeah, they finally got like that Xavier, and it's like, oh, this Xavier would be like this smug asshole that like fucked with Jean Grey's head, which why does that have to continuously be a thing? Like that wasn't a comics thing. Why do they keep going back to the well with that?
I think with in these movies, I think the best part of these movies have always been Charles and Eric's relationship.
Oh, well, of course, because they in both sets of movies they got those are their big actors.
But
They
like,
just-
Yeah,
I,
I
And
think
Jennifer Lawrence is their Hugh Jackman in the second set of films.
but I feel like with
But she
these
didn't-
movies, we really got to develop them more from First Class to Dark Phoenix.
Yes, but the problem I have, like, I think that one of the problems is like they are so sandbagged by the talent that they got in the first one that they like are like, oh, we have to bring these three back because they're now superstars. Like they're huge A-list actors. When it's like Mystique should never be in another X-Men movie past First Class, except in like very tiny roles, unless you're specifically sticking to Days of Future Past exactly how it happened.
I actually disagree with that because I think Mystique is a super important part within X-Men, and like not
Not as an X-Men.
not as an
I don't know.
X-Men,
I kind of like that.
but like
I kind of
but
like
like
that.
as someone who's adjacent within the story of X-Men, like she should still play a part within like whatever story they play going forward.
Well, it's also like they blew their load in a weird way with the Hellfire Club, so then they can't use them in Phoenix, and then they can't use any of those characters because they use them in a dumb way.
But
And then-
Fox Universe is like what it is, and like they kind of just like treat like that universe like within kind of playground. I just feel like that they could just do whatever they want because like at the end of the day it's like they don't have to be beholden to a previous universe. They could just do whatever they want.
Yeah, except they made
and-
themselves, which is weird.
and-
Like in the second film, they made themselves beholden to a future that then they just pretend doesn't happen in the other two movies.
Mhm.
Also, like I just like I think like one of the problems like I don't understand. So you had two sets of movies. Why they just don't start off with the original team, or like I was saying, if you started off there at the X universe with like the story from Giant Size, like I think it would be cool. Like you just have Cyclops show up and be like, Professor, they're dead, they're all gone, and they have them build a second team, knowing that first team is who they're rescuing, and you could kind of build like all those characters in one film. Which also like they like in the second team, the only character that like got any real like good casting was Wolverine. Like good time, like. Storm sucks. Second Storm sucks. First Storm is atrocious. Second Storm is fucking lame.
Oh, what the
I
one?
The one
you-
from Apocalypse and stuff.
Oh,
she's-
you mean the storm that's a part of like the genocide of several different countries?
also
she-
the Storm who like they don't understand how her powers work because
But it's
she doesn't. She can't just like make elements. Like she controls weather, and you know what's not in space? Atmosphere. And you know what you need to make weather? Atmosphere.
I mean,
But-
I've heard that there are like electrical storms in space, no, or like space storms.
Yeah, but she just like makes ice. Like
I
like, that's
also
I haven't seen the movie. I refuse to watch the movie.
it's the most aggressively fine way to watch. Like I watched it and I walked out of that theater and I thought, all right, that was not the worst way to kill like 2 hours.
oh, it's definitely like it was. I think after watching Apocalypse first, I was like very uplifted by Phoenix because like there are a lot of things in there. Like I said, like I liked the whole Xavier stuff. I liked the Magneto stuff, and I guess like his form of the Morlocks. Oh my god, you know who they fucking just like ruined in that movie? Because you don't know who the fuck she is until she dies, and Magneto says her name, Selene. Like another one of the biggest X-Men villains is like this weird throwaway character.
Is that his
Who's
daughter?
No, Selene is actually the one of the characters that causes the Dark Phoenix stuff. She's the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club.
Oh, okay. I just looked it up. I thought you meant the daughter for a second. I'm like, that was stupid too.
Oh no, well that is sort of from the that's like a thing that did happen in the comic.
Even
Just
the
like,
guy just looking at the one bird, just oops, my hand slipped and the arrow went.
oh my, yeah, like how long that guy's holding that bow and arrow, like that was fucking dumb. I was like, oh, they're definitely getting shot. Also, how powerful is that bow that it went through 2 people?
Right. And he wasn't even like pulling it back. He was like just holding it and he accidentally. It's like, oh.
Yeah, and it somehow went through the daughter and the wife at the same time.
It's also like not a metal tipped arrow, so yeah.
I mean, at most, she would just have it like in her and just be like, "Oh, this hurts a lot."
Yeah, he like perfectly shot her and the mom, like double heart shot, I guess. All I have to say, like, New Mutants is better. I don't get why those movies are dumb. Like they're so bad. My pitch for like a new one would be, yeah, giant size X-Men. I want to see Cyclops' actual comic book like origin with him jumping out of the plane with Alex, smashing his head. Cut to like him waking up like with the Blackbird and them having to build this team. And since it's now part of like Marvel Prime, like it would be interesting to see like a Wolverine like cutscene, like, oh, he was fighting the Hulk at some point. Like to see them pick up like I want to see Colossus stop the stupid tractor. Who else is on that team? Oh, I want to see them Storm like they kind of did it a little bit in Apocalypse with like Storm being like a thief, but she's a thief before after she becomes a thief, she becomes like a goddess of like a town. And then
He marries Black Panther eventually, right?
Yeah, that's like in the 2000s. Who's the other person on that team? I'm looking at the thing. It's Storm, Wolverine, Cyclops. Oh, Nightcrawler. Which Nightcrawler's origin was fine in Apocalypse. He was in Apocalypse, right? Yeah.
Oh, that was fine. I didn't mind him.
Yeah.
His powers were weird though. Is that in the comics where he can't somehow pass through electricity?
No. He can only go where he's been or seen, but he also like doesn't have unlimited travel speed. Like he can only go so far.
So he can't go on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, I think he can go like a mile or something, or a couple miles, because that's how he in one of the early on comics they get caught by Arcade.
Although I'm not gonna lie, I like Alan Cumming more than I like this kid in terms of performance.
Oh well, yeah, because one's Alan Cumming, one's this kid. Also, like they need to do something with like the hand prosthetics, like just still look shitty. Like Beast's feet prosthetics look terrible. Yeah, his face looks good. The thing is, like in those movies, Beast progressively gets better, like cooler looking, and Mystique gets worse and worse looking, and it's insane. Like she straight up looks like bad video game cutscene. Like it is so terrible.
Well, they changed it because she wanted like a makeup process that was less time consuming. Because she was like, "I hate being in the makeup."
Yeah, well, I know, and it's like, okay, I get it, and she couldn't get out of the contract. So like I get them not like I also think it makes sense to not have her be walking around naked all the time. That was like a weird thing that they carried over from the other movies. So I'm like, yeah, just put her in a fucking costume. But like kind of deal with like the paint on your face, I guess. Like I don't know. The hair is also bad in all the movies until you got to Dark Phoenix, and then it's like, yeah, you don't need to have her have this weird always slicked back hair. Like why would she have that? She can have any hair she wants.
That X-Woman line from her did get a slight chuckle out of me.
Oh, it's so ham-handed.
It is.
It is the same, like, I put it in the same thing as the scene from Endgame that everybody, like, their internet shit has, like, bitch about. The woman power scene.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, like, there's a better way to do this. Because, like, yeah, her character's not wrong, but, like, that's, like, there's a lame way to address it. Which we can transition to talking. I think most of us have seen. It's now off of HBO Max. Wonder Woman. I guess
from what I saw, Maxwell Lord was like a really funny character. I kept laughing every time.
I like Pedro Pascal in that movie, and I'll say I think to me Wonder Woman 84 was more watchable than Wonder Woman.
Really?
The first one?
Yeah.
I
really don't.
I liked it.
I really don't. I'm not a big fan of the first movie. Like, I think it's, again, the ending of the first movie really bugs me.
Well, like, the ending of the first movie bugs you, but, like, that's also, like, does the first, like, 80% of the first movie is worse than the first 80% of the second movie? Because, like,
I think what helps is the
to me, Because to me, like I think like the first 80% of Wonder Woman is great, and like the last 20% is like, oh, like it's kind
You know
of
what it is? It's
bad.
Pedro Pascal and oh my god, Kristen Wiig lift 84 up so much in their scenes for me that's why I like it more. Because I like them and I like their characters.
I think
And
my
I
only
like
big
what they're
complaint
doing.
I would say about Wonder Woman is I would trim solid half hour off the movie.
Oh, you could trim the entire opening.
Yeah.
But like that entire, like I said that minute, like I was like, wow, that's a long movie. I would cut the entire opening because it's not necessary. Also, is Wonder Woman a rapist in that movie?
I feel like that's the same joke everyone's been going with.
So here's the thing. It's like are we talking
What?
about the opening of Wonder Woman, the newest Wonder Woman?
Yeah, 84.
So like the whole entire like opening of Wonder Woman is basically like trying to set up a parable for the end of the film where like
Shortcuts don't make you good.
yeah, shortcuts are bad. Like it doesn't make you a hero. You need to play the straight and narrow, and like that's essentially like why they have that first part of the film. What doesn't fucking make sense is like she's like trying to cheat in that first part of the movie. It's like she gets knocked off her horse because of a random thing, and she uses her wit and cunning to try and
Catch up.
catch
Like,
up.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and then she like catches up and she almost wins, and they're like, "Oh, you cheated! You don't get the thing." It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what? Like, you didn't even explain the rules of this thing. Like, it
Why
just
else would that
seems-
path be there?
Oh, well, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That entire thing is there because they're like, oh shit, we killed Robin Wright Penn or Robin Wright. How do we get these characters back in the movie? It's just,
If they wanted to show her cheating, they could do that. They could be like showing her cheating. It's like, hey, I want to win.
They could totally do that. Like if they showed her like actually like cheating like the system, and then like at the end of it like the woman from Princess Bride stopped her and she's like, "No, you cheated. You don't get this shit." Like blah blah blah. Like but like that's not what happened. That's not what happened in this movie. Like basically it was like, oh, she got knocked.
Or if she was as a kid trying to be like, oh, I'm the queen's daughter. I should be able to get whatever I want, and like, being like, well,
Maybe.
you can't get
Maybe,
powers and
but that's
everything.
also not the character that they presented.
yeah. Or like,
Yeah, yeah.
don't
Like,
have that entire intro and like we just know that she's good, even though she doesn't do anything.
The character they presented was like she's super upstanding, she's really by the books, and that's completely fine. But like you don't set up that character within the prospects of these films. And so in part 2, when you have like this giant like triathlon, you don't have like a part of the film that basically makes it to where she cheats, to where she has to learn a lesson that she basically like learns later into the movie.
Yeah, like I said, I would cut that whole intro out, but like I think Wonder Woman 84 suffers a lot of the issues I have with Black Panther, and that is the title character is the least interesting character and the least compelling in the whole film.
Sure, but I also think Black Panther is better than Wonder Woman 82.
Oh, well, yes, Black Panther is much better written.
Because I think also Wonder Woman 82 also like suffers from and hey, some people of this podcast, long running listeners of the podcast will probably like point out like, oh hey, John Tyler, he's a hater, but like, hey man, like there's like one
It's okay. We still love him.
there's like one big difference about this movie from the previous movies where like, hey, Jeff Johns is a writer, and I don't know, man. I feel like it's very evident that there's like a lot of Jeff Johnsons in this movie that do not need to be here.
Well, yeah,
Well, yeah, because it's true. Because if it was like a comic, I could totally see this as a comic book and like being however many issues and it working because it's 6-7 issues. But when it's like one movie, it's like you're doing too much at one time.
Well, I think that's the problem. Like, it's way too long. and they take way too long to get there. Like, I like this version of Maxwell Lord. Like, I like the concept around it, and I also like what they did with Barbara and what they did with her. And I think it's like you also get two actors that can just carry whatever you give them, and they do such a good job at it. And I guess in my head, like, I like Maxwell Lord as a villain. I also like sympathetic Cheetah, and I like all the stuff we get with her, and I like her character development in that movie.
I also agree, but like I also don't I don't agree with her final arc as being Cheetah, because like her whole thing is like she wishes to be an apex predator, which Cheetah, not apex predator, whatever.
I don't know. I think they are.
Compared to lions or like.
Yeah, lions are actually one of the worst hunters in the animal kingdom.
But like
I don't know why I know this, but I know this.
But compared to cheetahs, they are absolutely not an apex predator. But then like also on top of that, it's like I get like they have her whole thing where her turning into a cheetah is like at the night because they don't want her to look super bad in daylight because like and that's like actually like super smart, like not to have a super bad CGI at in daylight, but like also like I think she looked really cool when she just had like a leopard printed coat.
Oh yeah, I like that version too.
Gorgeous.
And I kind of just wish she was just like kind of super powerful and had the leopard printed coat and pants and just called herself Cheetah. Like I just think that would have been like way better.
I kind of wish that they hadn't given her full Cheetah. Like,
well, the promise is like it.
I wish it developed over time. Like, I wish it kind of like it's starting the transformation.
Well, in the comic, at least in the last, like, I think it was started in like Gail Simone's run, she becomes that because she gets tricked into a deal with a deity, and she becomes like the avatar of what's the cat avatar? The cat god.
Nefertiti? No, it's not Nefertiti.
No, it's literally the same one they talk about in Black Panther.
Bast?
Bast. Yeah, she becomes the human avatar of Bast. So she's not even like actually a cheetah, like they just call her that, I guess, because she looks cat-like, and they can't go with Tigra or Lionra, or it just sounds dumb. But, like, I think that makes more sense. Although I didn't mind the Wish Stone and that idea, and I liked how like they played like that's the creation of Maxwell Lord's like powers. And I think I would really like. I liked how they ended it. It was much like. I liked Wonder Woman being kind of smart and hopeful character rather than just killing him. So I don't know. Like, I have lots of problems with that movie, and most of them are Chris Pine because he's so unnecessary. Like to the film,
he should not have come back.
No, he's completely unnecessary. And again, it's like they get hamstrung by him in it. Like you have to build a plot around it, and it's dumb. Like it's dumb and has so many holes. Like it would have been
again. They should have brought him back just again, not in another body. Just like he's back because of magic, but he's back. And then
like what is like the other body thing is so weird and unnecessary. I don't get.
Again, I don't know why they needed to have him invade another man's body. I don't.
Yeah. So does that guy just have no memory of like the last like month? Oh, you know what else could be cut from that movie? The entire chase sequence. And it's unnecessary and dumb. It doesn't look good either.
The one in the desert?
Yes. And Bialia?
I didn't mind it as much. I thought it was fun.
It has no plot relevance.
No, but
it's wonky. Also, but hey, that shot of her landing with those kids is pretty funny.
Yeah, and I think they also like
they
did not figure out a way to like explain how no one's heard of her in like the rest of the DCEU. So there's also that issue. So Siler, since you missed some of the beginning, is there any of the news stories this week that you wanted to hit on before we talked about what we read? I think we talked about Sandman and and the X-Men vote thing. That's what we talked about.
I mean, like, the only thing about the X-Men vote I want to, like, touch upon is that I voted on Boom Boom, but
Same.
I think Armor and Marrow are also, like, hey, if you vote for them, that's also a plus on...
I thought Tempo was interesting.
Also Tempo,
Sean,
yes.
Who do you think doesn't deserve to get the vote at all?
Ooh, I would say I don't care about Forge or Sunspot or...
That's racist.
I mean, like, I think they all do in certain ways. Like,
I haven't read enough.
Cannonball,
of
I don't care about either.
I think Forge, because, like, we need, it's like we need more Native American representation. I think Sunspot, because we need more, like, South American representation. I think...
Well, I would say Forge makes more sense.
Cannonball is, like, a fucking sweet guy. Like,
But yeah, Sunspot and him are already in a book. They're in the current New Mutants book.
Sure, but, like, also, it's like I vote Boom Boom, but she's also in New
She's in New Mutants currently too.
But, like, I also vote for Boom Boom because, like, she's never been a part of, like, a main X-Men book. Like,
I think she was a part of X Factor in, like, early on.
But, like, I'm talking about, like, main X-Men, like X-Men proper. Like,
Yes, not the actual X-Men. She was with the original team. Yeah, she was an X Factor trainee in, like, post Fall of the Mutants, I think.
So, like, it's like I feel like she is someone who's never been a part of the X-Men. Like, I think she could have, like, a lot of fun there. Like, same with, like Armor's been a part of the mainline X-Men team. But, like,
she's also in New Mutants. Like, that's what's weird. It's like half of those characters are New Mutants characters.
And I'd also like to see, like, Marrow. Like, Marrow, who's never been a part of, like, a main, like, X-Men team.
No,
like,
she's like a Morlock character mostly, isn't she?
Sure. But, like, I also like Marrow in the way that I am also, like, a big video game Capcom fan, and I just want to see her do a bunch of Marvel vs. Capcom moves, because, like, Marrow was, like, a character in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is, like, one of the best games of all time.
I did not remember. I know I had the character somewhere. And we were talking about before, like, how, like, they kind of retrofitted her to be Spike in Evolution.
Yeah, it's not quite.
It's not quite. It's pretty close. It's pretty much. It's kind of like they bit off of her to make that character.
But Marrow is, like, a way, like, cooler design than Spike. Like, because Spike is, like, a character. Like, even, like, when we were watching Days of Future Past, you're like, oh, is that Spike? Is that Spike there? You're like, no, like, actually, that's just, like, a no-name, nothing, piece of shit, run them out.
She has a couple of really cool designs. Like, there's one I'm grabbing from, like, her time in X-Force, and it's, like, fucking crazy looking.
Yeah, like, look at any design of her in, like, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and you're like, oh, this is, like the coolest X-Men design. Yeah,
she is pretty cool looking.
Like, yeah, Marrow's great. Like, Marrow's
okay. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, her Marvel vs. Capcom design is like the very 90s. That's like the figure that I had kind of design. Yeah, the X-Force design is like really cool.
And she's like never like quite up to this point like done the whole thing where she like does like the super where she like fucking flexes and like all like the bones come out from her body and do like the ramming into like her enemy. Like, yeah. But the only other thing like I kind of want to talk about, like I joked about on Twitter was okay, so I assume you're talking about how Zack Snyder's Justice League has an official date now.
Yeah, we
talked about that.
Which like I feel like we had like I thought we had months before we had to like kind of deal with that shit. But like, hey man, I guess this is what we deal with now. So at the same time, there's like the drop of like this movie. At the same time, there's like some kind of like food menu or menu option.
Oh, I forgot about mentioning this. Thank you for reminding me.
It's like a mother box that's like also like a food delivery service.
What?
What?
All right, hang on. I have it
no
right
idea.
here. I have it.
But it's like also like really weird that's like the mother box is like delivered to basically like protect the person that's attached to you. And it's like this mother box is designed for the person to eat them. And it's like there's like some like Freudian thing that's about like eating the mother figure that's there to protect you.
I just put it in the I put it on in the chat in Discord if y'all want to see it.
Wonderland at home.
Keep scrolling down. It's at the bottom. It's like when you keep scrolling down.
Like,
Are you of
why-
legal drinking age?
Yeah,
it's
this
like-
is like goofy.
But it's like, yeah, it's like I don't fucking get it.
Oh my god, it's $130 for a box
Two
for
people.
two. That's a lot.
Comes with Icelandic cotton chips with trench dressing.
So you get
can-
fish and chips, you get a burger,
You
some
get
sort of corn dish.
resurrection. You get a ancient Themyscirian fire, which no one knows what it is.
It's gonna be buffalo sauce.
Snacks and extras, which no one knows what it is. You
You
get
get-
beer.
2 beers, and then you get a coffee, a cold brew can. This thing's dumb.
100 to 200 pounds.
I kind of feel like buying it just to like talk, maybe fucking talking about it on here. When does this come out?
This is supposed to drop April, May 2021.
I mean, I'll buy it for my birthday. My
So-
birthday's in May.
So, in other words, this is coming out April, May of after the movie comes out. So it comes out in March. This is coming out after the movie.
So weird.
Really don't.
Like, how do you not have this like ready to go by the time the movie comes out? Wouldn't that be the point?
Is it something that Warner Brothers is doing, or like?
I think it's in collaboration. Yeah,
That's
it's Warner
goofy.
Brothers offering Justice League themed meal kit called the Mother Box.
Ugh.
Apparently, Warner Bros. is gonna. This is not the first movie they're doing this with. They said they're gonna do Wonderland at Home, a service where hardcore fans with deep pockets can order themed meal kits inspired by various Warner Media titles.
What other Warner Bros. Movies are coming out
Well, you
that
can
we can
get.
expect boxes?
I mean, I'm hoping for a
Mortal
Godzilla versus
Kombat.
Kong. Godzilla versus Kong.
No, that'd be pretty cool. You get like radioactive, the slushy or something. I don't know.
Something, I don't know. I'm looking to see what Warner Brothers has coming out this year. Let's load my
You can't wait for the
computer.
Fantastic Beasts version of this in like next year.
Mortal Kombat, The Conjuring, In the Heights, Space Jam, Suicide
Oh, In the
Squad.
Heights.
In the Heights, I feel like you could do something with.
Yeah, you can just get a bunch of like since they're all like South American immigrants.
Yeah.
You could get like Puerto Rican this, Dominican this, whatever, blah blah.
Oh yeah, there's definitely something you could do within the Heights. Space Jam
Get some
2.
rum.
Space Jam, you could just do like kids meal stuff. Suicide Squad.
I mean, you wouldn't
There-
just do like a stuffed rabbit.
Oh,
Well, hang on. There is the Many Saints of Newark, aka the Sopranos prequel. Just put Italian food in there.
oh, gabagool.
Gabagool.
Oh.
Let's put some gabagool in. And then Dune. Dune, I feel like you just do a lot of spices with Dune.
Yeah, some worms. No, aren't there like some worm delicacies out there?
I'm sure there is. And
Yeah, just
then
put that in there.
King Richard and Matrix. Matrix, just give him a holographic meal. It's not real.
Give him the steak that he talks about that isn't real in the first one.
But that's this year. I don't know what else they're gonna do. I mean, Fantastic Beasts. Oh, Elvis Presley. I know that movie got pushed back. First of all, I mean, I'm not surprised, but
Like super funny where like people like there's like certain people who are just like so and so why am I playing that guy's name right now? Who was in like in the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Jack Sparrow.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Jack Sparrow.
I mean, same
Johnny
thing.
Depp?
Yeah, same thing.
Oh yeah.
But it's like the idea that's like they're like, oh, I can't believe like they would fire him from like like Johnny Depp. Sorry. Like, what the fuck? Sorry, I've been drinking this whole entire fucking night watching the Royal Rumble. But it's like the whole entire idea that it's like people are like, oh, like I can't believe they fired Johnny Depp from
Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts. It's like, well, like that fucking series sucks. Like it's like really it's kind of a blessing that he got like let go from that franchise because like can we all fucking agree like those first two films are really bad, and we don't want to see really anything more of them. And
I
really,
mean, to be
if
fair,
you guys,
you replaced him with Mads Mikkelsen, which is like a step up, if you ask me. I mean, no disrespect to Johnny
But-
Depp, but
but like it's also a step down from Mad Mikkelsen because I feel like Mad Mikkelsen should be better served elsewhere. Like I feel like Fantastic Beasts is like a dead franchise in a lot of
The
ways.
only thing I'm looking forward to for Fantastic Beasts is like a 20-minute, wizarding duel between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. Whenever that happens, let me know. I'll go in,
that's not going to
watch
be.
that, and then leave.
That's not going to be until the 5th movie.
Also, like,
Well, I mean-
why are they like? It's not just like those movies are bad. It's also like they're from a creator who like nobody wants to deal with anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could talk about some of the stuff we've been reading because we're getting close to midnight here, and Siler's already drunk, and I'm halfway there. Siler, since
who won the wrestling? Really quickly.
Bianca Belair won the women's Royal Rumble, which is pretty fucking rad. And then Edge won the men's Royal Rumble, which is also pretty
Oh,
fucking
that's cool.
rad. Like
That's pretty cool.
the Royal Rumble, like if you're not like someone who like
I feel like if you've been alive since like
I'll be honest,
1985, you would know what the Royal Rumble is.
I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I didn't
like-
realize Edge was still wrestling.
Well, he
The
came
Royal
back in the
Rumble-
last Royal Rumble, right?
what was
Like
that?
that was a big thing. Edge came
he-
back during the last Royal Rumble, right?
Yep.
Oh, I
that's
thought his
cool.
back is like broken in two.
Well, like so, like the whole thing with like Edge was he retired maybe about 10 years ago because of his neck, and he came back last year, because he was like, hey, I feel better, and he did pretty well and got eliminated. But this year he debuted number 1, lasted the whole entire thing, and won it. And yeah. Like, I think the Royal Rumble was a really good pay-per-view. Like, all the matches are great. There's no match I would call like a loser. Like, I think like yeah, it was a pretty fun show, and all the people who should have won totally won.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. It seems like all the wrestling fans are happy with what happened.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome for them. Awesome for you guys. I have not watched wrestling since I was in like middle school, so it's been a while.
I tried like 2 years ago. I think I watched like a Raw post WrestleMania, and it was like an hour of talking, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I just moved on. And it was like the one time I was like, oh, why don't we try? Because she watches the Diva shows and the Bella Twin shows. It's like, oh, I want to actually see like what they do on the show. And I was like, oh no, this is not entertaining. I think it was like a bad time in wrestling.
Yeah, and I think that's like on the thing is like you gotta kind of like pick your spots. It's like it's like a lot of wrestling is bad, but like what is great is like the best. It's like the best. Like so it's like you guys like find your spots. But like for tonight, it was a good show.
Oh, good.
But like for me, like oh my god, my fucking
Don't fall out of your chair.
no, like so I had my desk and it's like fucking like some secondhand thing, so it's like I need to like fix it at some point, but it's like but basically the thing I kind of wanted to say of like about things that I've been watching, it's basically been like a lot of like web comics for me because it's a lot of questionable content, dumbing of age, which are been like kind of like week daily / bi-daily comics I've been reading, which have been pretty fun. There's like a other webcomic I've been reading called The Rockcocks, which is about a band that loves to get like semi-nude while getting on the stage, and them dealing with like record producers, which has been really fun. But like that also only updates like once or twice like a week. And then the last couple have been like me getting caught up with some comics because of they're not quite here in the United States. One of them is called Don't Bully Me, Negataro, which is like a manga about this girl named Negataro who is like this kind of mean girl who bullies this guy who like loves doing art. And but she's like very kind of she's like super into him, but she doesn't like let him know about it. And so like the whole entire book is about her kind of like making fun and bullying this guy while also just like being like kind of in love with him, but like not letting him know. So it's like a very kind of fun book. And the last book I've been kind of like getting caught up on, High School Girl Dash, which there's a
Oh!
show.
Oh yes, yes. Oh yes. I watched the High Score Girl anime and I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
Was
okay,
that the
so
one on Netflix?
yeah,
Yes.
so I've been watching High School Girl on Netflix, and I'm like maybe about 2 episodes away from finishing it, and it's like super great about a boy who ends up like meeting this girl who is also very good at fighting games, and he and her end up like kind of developing this friendship about fighting games, and there's like a third girl who like also kind of gets into fighting games and is like in love with the main character and like tries to like battle for the guy's affection, but like the main character is like also like just very oblivious like for this part to like female affection, and like it is what it is. So High School Girl Dash is basically set
It's like 10
maybe
years
like
later, or 15 years later.
yeah, like maybe about 10 years later, where the third wheel girl is like a teacher at the school like where she grew up at, and it's like her trying to be like an upstanding teacher while also being someone who tries to be like helpful to her students, and
And she
it's
tries to
good.
be cool with them.
Yeah,
I
and
think I
it's
read the first 7 chapters like a few months ago. I don't know if any more came out.
currently there's 12, and I think it's like pretty good so far.
I was reading some weird, not the best translations, but whatever. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I read.
Uh, but that's what I've read so far.
John Scott.
So I'm gonna fully admit right off the bat, I haven't read. I think the last time I read a proper comic was when I read Days of Future Past for the show, because I haven't read Turtles or Power Rangers in a while. So that's because I got myself a tablet for my birthday, and
Ooh.
nothing too fancy. And I've been reading. I was a fan of the Percy Jackson books when I was younger, so I've been reading like some of the spin-off shows, like or spin-off books rather, like the Heroes of Olympus. So I'm on book 3 of that right now, and it's good so
Good
far.
shit. Good
It's good
good
so
shit.
it is. Oh, I'm enjoying it. I agree with you, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the books in that universe, I guess you could say, entail, because I haven't read anything past the original series.
All right. Well, I can't wait to have this conversation later when you're done.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's. I've read the first 2 books and I'm halfway through the third, so I might need to wait a little bit.
Oh
That's all
wow.
right.
Leo, have you been reading anything?
I read the new Star Wars High Republic Light of the Jedi book.
Oh, how is that?
Oh, I've heard
I
some of that stuff's
I
really good.
highly enjoyed it. I really liked it. It could be also because I double dipped and I got the Audible book to listen to at work. So the audiobook is like really high, really done well. There's like sound effects and
Oh, good. I heard that
music and
book
all
was
that.
dope.
I enjoyed it immensely. I got one of the junior books, which I haven't read yet, just because it's so small. I could probably read it in the like 2 hours, but I was so surprised by how small it was. So I just kind of have it there. The young adult novel comes out, I think, tomorrow or Tuesday, so I should get that soon. The comic book, it's only 6 issues, I think, so I'm probably gonna wait for those series to end and just buy the graphics to get them and go through that. But I don't know, like again, it's really cool. Like the character, I enjoyed most of the characters that appeared. The villains are really great for not being Force users because so far there's no like Sith or anything, but they're called the Nihil, and they seemingly are just originally just like a group of pirates like space pirates, whatever. But though once we once they kind of start like being known and kind of like being like sussed out, they kind of become way more dangerous just because they're. I would argue. I guess most people have been saying they're a little Mad Maxian in like the way that they're described and the way that they're all like kind of rowdy and crazy and they wear like crazy masks and some of them get on drugs before they go out on raids and whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I enjoy what I read so far. There's a really cool moment where the Force is described in a way that reminded me of when Yoda first talks about the Force in Episode 5, where he's going through the whole speech, and then Luke is like, "Whatever," and then he like pulls out the X-wing. There was a moment like that for me in the
Oh,
book, and
that's cool.
I was like sitting down and listening to it, and I was like, "Oh, it's so good." Um,
Yeah,
I
there's
really
a
want to
whole
read him
new
at some
race they
point.
created. It's interesting.
which one?
There's a whole new race they created for this, it seems.
Oh, the Nihil.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a race. It's just that they're
It's
all.
it's
It's a
like
group of.
a religion kind of, it seems like.
Yeah, kind
It
of. And
seems like it's
I don't know
kind
if
of
that's in
like
to it.
a not Mandalorian like that you see in Rebels, but like Mandalorian that you see in like Knights of the Old Republic, where they're kind
I
of
would
more
argue.
like a
I would
concept.
argue that they're more like the War Boys from Mad Max Fury Road. Like that's like the closest I've
Mm,
come to being.
Oh, okay. That's a good description.
Yeah, but there's like 3 to 4 leaders depending. And again, I don't want to spoil too much, but like what kind of ends up happening in the beginning is that like there's an accident in a hyperspace which is considered impossible, and the Nihil might or might not be responsible for it. But it's like if they are, how did they do it? Can they do it again? And it's also like dangerous because like basically a ship explodes in the hyperspace in the middle of hyperspace flying, and all the fragments basically explode, but they exploded in hyperspace, so they just kind of like exit. All the shrapnel exits in hyperspace, and it causes damage because it hits, planets or other things. And when that happens, it
yeah.
it explodes. I mean, we
I
saw what
think
happened in Episode 7 when Holdo, hyperspace the ship, but that happens like on a galaxy-wide scale.
Well, that's 7 or 8.
And 7 or 8, sorry.
I think it was 8. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like we saw that, and I guess I don't know if they taken the concept from that, but like it's like yeah, and that's like the very first chapter. That's what happens, and it's a bit of like a rescue effort, and then from there like a mystery, and then yeah, more than that. Again, I highly enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm always pro Star Wars. That might be biased, but I don't know. I like it a lot.
No, that's fine. That whole era sounds like super dope and everything. So I'm excited to dive into it when I get the opportunity to, and I'm excited for when that Star Wars Disney Plus show set in that time period comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Mhm.
probably that's not until 2023, but again, when it happens, I'll be I'm there for it. I also have been reading a bit of manga. Kaiju number 8. It's only like 20 chapters, but it's really cool. It's a world where like, hey, kaiju exist all the time and they're always attacking, and we have a defense force, but we're gonna focus on the cleanup crew. One of the guys, he's like, I wanted to join the defense force, but I tried out and I kept flunking every time. So now I just clean up the guts, and then he gets infected by a kaiju and he becomes a kaiju hybrid, human hybrid. And hijinks is soon from there. It's only like 20 chapters. I've enjoyed the designs, the characters, and the story so far, but uh since it's a new manga, it's like hard to wait every week for a new chapter instead of just like binging through everything.
No, I'm totally
But
with you because there's like a bunch of stuff that I've started reading on what do you call it, on like Webtoon. Like I'm like, oh, they're taking so long with the translations. Because like the one I was reading was it Omniscient Reader, and then there's a new one I highly suggest on Webtoon called Micro Hunter. And basically, like, everyone in the world gets turned into like 3 inches tall simultaneously, but they're all given like an ability. But some people, there was like different people in the world wrote like a book or like a story of this exact thing happening, like in every language across the world, but like no one paid attention to it. So like the main character's sister was one of them. And it's just like interesting. It's like, oh shit, they're ants. Like the ants just killed like 50 people because like they're the size of ants.
damn.
Yeah, it's very bloody and gruesome. And then I've been keeping up on the X books. They were pretty interesting. One of the ideas, it's why I posted that thing on Facebook the other day. So they're kind of playing with the idea, and it's going through the character Scout. And and Scout is like, I think she's a clone of X-23, or she's just another Wolverine clone. But like,
Another
because
clone.
basically in one of the other books, they encountered Madeline Pryor, and they were like, "Oh, can we resurrect her?" And they're like, "No, she's not a real person. She's a clone, so we're not going to resurrect her." And they're like, "Well, what does that mean for like a lot of the other ones that like are good ones, like X-23?"
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and so the one character is, I think her name is Scout. I gotta look. I'm trying to like find her in like the Marvel database, like of stuff. But there's like another character called Scout. Oh, here she is, Gabby Kinney. She's a clone of Laura Kinney, so she's a clone of a clone.
Weird.
So she's like a mini Wolverine, but I think she has like one claw on each hand and each foot.
Just one?
Yeah, and she was kind of trained to be like a replacement for X-23. She possesses similar powers, healing, strength, speed, endurance, reflexes.
And yeah, and Gabby was like a secondary character within the all new Wolverine book for like a good long bit. And Gabby's great. Like,
Yeah, she's becoming, I can't remember, I think it's in the New Mutants book. She's like kind of been popping up, and like it's really this discussion of like clones, because she's been like trying to hang out. Like Laura's not around because she's running around with one of the teams, and so she's trying to talk to Dakin, but Dakin's doing shit with North Star's sister.
and it's like interesting that she's like trying to talk to Dakin, because Dakin is her like pseudo brother.
Yeah.
He's a step clone.
He's a step clone. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but she's like hanging out with the little kids, and they have her, and she's like goes to talk to a bunch of other characters, and like, where they're like, we don't know you. Like, we got resurrected because we died in Genosha. Like, whoever you're talking about, like, that happened in like some weird pocket universe. So that wasn't us. But yeah, the whole concept of like, because it happened in Hellions, they find Madeline Pryor, and Havoc is like, so can we bring her back? And they're like, no, she's not a real person. And then that trickles down into the New Mutants book, and Scout hears someone talk about that and is like, what the fuck does that mean if I die? Will they not bring me back?
I mean, like, and that's like also like the preceding like question about like a lot of the resurrection questions about Krakoa is that I mean, like, you know, it's like pertaining to this conversation. It's like, if you're a clone of a character, like, can you be resurrected in the way that all other mutants can be able to be resurrected in? And it's like, well, like, it seems like if you're like a clone of a clone of a clone, you can't be.
Well, they just are choosing not to. It's not that you can't be. It seems like they're saying no. Like the council is saying no.
Which seems like super fucked.
That's the thing that they say is that, like, yeah, as of now, because when they talk to Havoc about it, they're like, as of now, no. And Havoc's like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, she was with us through all of that other shit. And the reason she went crazy is because all of the bullshit around us. And it's like, he's like, Sinister's at the fucking council. He's just like, this doesn't make any sense. And it ties also into Cable's book, because Cable has the big bad of Cable's book has kind of been revealed. Which the last issue was fun because Rachel showed up, and it was like interesting seeing like, so basically like they are looking for like these missing children cases. And then, like, it's like two normal cops, and they're like trying to deal with stuff. They're starting to do that more, which I like, is like branch out. And they're like, oh, what can you do? And Rachel's like, hold on, and like does her psychic time shit. And the cop's like, holy fuck, what was that? And it's like, okay, they're here. And they're like, what do we need? It's like, we have diplomatic immunity. We can just go wherever we want, like her and Cable.
Well, then you just have Danny Glover come in and say it's just been revoked.
Well, that's how, like,
okay, yeah, someone laughed. Someone got it.
Yeah. In the X Factor book, they do the same thing, because there's a tease thing, because Siren has killed herself twice, and they don't know what the fuck is going on, and she like won't answer questions. So they found her body. I think she was in the Mojoverse, and she died on film, like, because Mojoverse bullshit. And there's several other mutants stuck there. And they brought her back, and then she flew up really high in the air, and then just let herself fall. And also, Dakin and North Star Sister are fucking now, which is interesting. Oh, like that. Yeah, the X Factor book is like really cool because I can't remember what's the kid who can like learn anything by watching someone.
I mean, like, hey, man, like, I got.
He's not like a nobody.
Sure. Are you talking about like a taskmaster?
No, he has.
But he
like,
has like the same pass. He has the same powers as taskmaster.
Yeah, sort of. Who the hell's? I'm trying to find a thing that says like all the characters. Prodigy.
Oh yeah.
Prodigy is taking all these dead mutant bodies and he's making a body farm because like no one's ever studied like mutant decay and like what it means to die and like have your body sit on Krakoa. And everyone's like, this is fucked up. And like Siren shows up like, oh shit, get her in the other room. She can't see her other dead bodies that we have just like out in our yard.
Why would they leave him there?
Because that's the whole. Do you know what a body farm is?
No, I'm sorry. I don't. I'm not reading the books, so I don't.
Well, no. A body farm is something that like law enforcement do. So basically, they take when you donate your body to science. Some of the ways they can see is like they'll put bodies in certain things. Like they'll wrap them up in a tarp, and then that's how they figure out like scientifically like that's what's been done to this body. Like, oh, what happens to decay if it's been wrapped in a tarp and buried 3 feet under the ground, or 4 feet, or 6 feet, or 10 feet, or not under a tarp? Like they do experiments on dead bodies to see how they decay. And
you still do that to this day?
Yeah.
Why? Don't we have it all figured out by now?
Yes, but they have to like do new things. Like what happens when they pour this chemical on you or do this thing? It's like a constant research thing. Basically, if you watch the show Bones, it's like that's like 90% of what Bones is based on that kind of stuff. Yeah, the X books have been really fun. The current ones, and I really haven't read like much DC. I've actually been reading. I did like a month of Marvel Unlimited, and I'm going back and reading some old X-Men stuff. And so far, I've read the Second Coming, The Five Lights, Age of X, Utopia, like kind of all that stuff that leads to Schism and AVX. Age of X is real weird, but kind of interesting. It's like a very alternate reality thing, but like seeing that Cyclops is really interesting compared to the Cyclops that we have right now. But it's kind of interesting. It's cool seeing like where the mutants were leading up to where they are now. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I've been reading. I don't know. Been playing Knights of the Old Republic again because I'm a nerd. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Oh man, there's like people did like 4K updates on it.
Oh really?
I just beat Hyrule Warriors and hell yeah.
Yeah, there's like tons of like updates and stuff you can add on. It's interesting. So yeah, there's like that's pretty much it. All right, so I think we haven't decided what our next like movie or whatever we're gonna watch and read is. So we will catch you guys up on that next time. Does anybody want to plug anything?
I mean, you can find me on Twitter on John GOHN_FN_Siler SCILER. Same thing on Instagram, where I talk about work stuff and other shit. Yeah, it's follow me if you want to. I don't really care.
I would just say go listen. I'm not even on the episode, but go listen to the episode where Leo crashed the Phantom Zone for the last 5 minutes. It was genuinely one of the funniest goddamn things I've ever listened to.
I have to listen.
I think it's like the last 10 minutes of the show or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that.
And apparently, you're like the first one to have ever done it too. So
why haven't you? Why haven't you guys done that? Just like, cause I just saw that they were recording, and I was like,
I'm normally asleep if I'm not recording.
Yeah, I'm usually asleep too. But honestly, now that
you have West Coast privilege.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah, you can follow my little puppy dog, who's not so little anymore, on Instagram and TikTok at Notorious Rose BG. There'll be some photos and videos of her playing her first snow. We got snow today. And yeah, let's check that out. Is that everybody?
Yeah, I got nothing.
I believe so.
All right. So we'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
Goodbye.
Oh boy.
Nope, that's the wrong ones.
Are we still recording?
Keep it in. Keep it in. Keep it in.
Yeah, I copy and pasted the wrong things.
I was about to start mouthing
Danger.
off about how much I hate.
So I guess I'll join the Great Lakes Avengers. They offered me a membership, and so I did, except no, they're a walking disaster. I find it hard to go to something that cannot be sold, cause they're the worst shoes of all time. It's remarkable they ever stop a crime. Sitting full time with 3 beer and lime, so I guess I'll stick